The cross-border payments industry is a great business to be in. It is never boring. Payments touch everything, which means as things change anywhere, it affects the payments industry. And you've got to adapt fast to take advantage of the opportunities. We've been through a lot of change in the last few years in terms of cross-border trade, COVID, huge impacts, disruptions. Supply chains are evolving, not only because of the concerns people had about COVID, but because the mindset has changed. It used to be that global supply chains were all about efficiency, and there was less concern about having consolidated supply chains with a small number of suppliers, maybe all in one country. Nowadays, that's changed, and it's because of COVID. The focus was on resilience, rather than redundancy. Not only in one country, we've got to spread your risk, and you focus more on nearshoring, shorten your supply chain, so that there's less risk of disruption. But also then it's just recognizing it's not just those disruptions, it's the trade tensions, it's tariffs, it's potential trade wars. These affect how companies need to manage their supply chains. And whenever that happens, there are winners and losers. And I think clearly Southeast Asia is a high growth area anyway. But with supply chains evolving, some of the winners I think are definitely going to be in Southeast Asia. Countries like Vietnam, Bangladesh, India, I think Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia also have the opportunity to take advantage of this as they develop their capabilities. So I think this is going to be very exciting for years for Southeast Asia as the shape and the balance of cross-border trade changes and becomes more decentralized. So, when you look at regulators around the world, they all have largely the same objectives. Financial stability, AML, anti-terrorism financing. The way they go about it is different. So the key challenge for a cross-border payments company like us is we need to really have a strong local presence, which we've been building up over the last 7 years, so that we understand the local regulators, we understand how those regulations are changing, and we can be ready as they change. And when it comes to AML specifically, what this comes down to at the end of the day, more than anything, is data. This is about the ability to really know who you're going to business with. So how do you do the KYC? How do you do the KYB? Enhance due diligence, actually have sophisticated risk protocols to actually segment your customers to risk profile, and the systems behind that to be able to do that efficiently and provide great products to your customers. And that's what we've been focusing on building our proprietary systems and data sets so that we can manage that effectively and meet the requirements of regulators around the world. So trade financing, if you're in a cross-border business, cash flow is a big issue because the delay between you manufacturing the goods, paying for the goods, and actually receiving the revenue comes longer. And if you're dealing with e-commerce through the big marketplaces like Amazon or Walmart and eBay, then there's a delay. So particularly in the holiday season, there is real cash flow pressure. So for those customers, we need to find solutions and embed those solutions in our platform so it's easy and effective for them to grow their business. Without cash flow, you can't. Where it really becomes a key issue is on the B2B side, because the time frame between a buyer placing an order, manufacturing the order, shipping the order, and receiving the payments is that much longer. And the orders are much larger. So that's where you need more sophisticated capabilities. Today, we've just announced a partnership with Modify here, who are a great company in this space, one of the leaders. So we're really excited to partner with them so that we can actually combine the financing with the finance. And that's when it really becomes effective, because you've got to know which customer is the right customer for what type of finance. Because we have a very large customer base and we see and we know the business in real time as how they've grown. We can actually provide a lot of data and target the right type of financing to the right customer. Modify have got very sophisticated tools to do the underwriting and provide the capital. And then on the back end, again, the partnership works because we're in the payments stream. So when the repayments need to be made, we can go manage the risk because we can automate the repayments of the finance. So financing is critical, particularly on the B2B side. And the key to success, in my experience, really is the combination of the financing company with the payments company, cross-border payments company, that provides the customer with one integrated solution. What I refer to as saying, if you're a financing company, what do you know about the cross-border business? And the typical way of doing financing, certainly through banks, is you look at, they ask for the last 2 years quarterly financials. If you're a growth company, that information is so out of date. It's not at the right basis to evaluate the company and the financing they need and the risk profile. Because we have that ongoing payments relationship, we are in the flow, we see all the data of our customers, we can enable much more effective underwriting, which means the customer gets access to better financing and more cost-effective finance. Secondly, as I said, it's really about then managing risk. If you're the financing company and you partner with PingPong and provide financing to our customers, we can automate the recovery of the funds you lend and the right. So it's both on the front end in terms of improving the targeting and the efficiency of financing, but also on the back end in terms of managing risk. I think one of the interesting things that is happening is the evolution of digital banks, which are, they are banks, absolutely. And so the regulatory scrutiny is much more to bank. But it's a very interesting, almost hybrid model, because they are very much tech first in the way fintechs, PSPs, are tech first. I think what's going to happen is when you look at the funding for fintech over the last 5 years, there was, frankly, probably overinvestment in fintech. And what we've seen in the last year is that while there's still a reasonable level of seed funding, the funding of Series A, Series B has really fallen. And over the next few years, I think we're going to see a thinning out of the field where those PSPs that really have a strong foundation, particularly strong in terms of compliance. If you have a strong compliance foundation, you can get the right banking partnerships. And if you get those two in place, then you've got a platform to compete effectively. A lot of PSPs aren't there yet in heaven. I think the other differentiator is going to be, what is your coverage? If you're a single country PSP focusing on domestic payments, then you've got a niche to play. If you're in the cross-border space, if you don't have the broader global coverage and investing the time and the resources to build out that network, it'll become harder and harder to compete. And that's where I think we feel very confident how we are. The last 8 years, we've been building out that network, investing in building that payments capability broadly around the world, said over 30 countries. So I think it's going to be a challenging time, very competitive time, but I think PingPong's actually very well placed as we focus on building things foundation up in a very thoughtful focus on execution rather than focusing on the marketing side of things early on. I do think there's going to be a degree of consolidation, and I think when you look at other financial areas, typically you do see global leaders emerging. When you look at the cross-border payment space, particularly business-focused payments, the market's mature enough that everyone can see this is a large market, and it's an exciting market, it's a growing market. But there isn't yet that consolidation, clear market on this. And I think we're going to see that, particularly as the funding dries up for earlier stage companies. It's those companies that have got a strong foundation are going to consolidate their market share, and that will happen in the next several years. I think the CBDC initiatives underway are very, very interesting. China was the first one to really move into this space, but when you look at how long they've been doing it, it's a slow process. This is a major change for a central bank to issue a CBDC, and they will appropriately be cautious and take their time in testing it. What I see is really two things. One is, if you look at any central bank, their primary focus is on financial stability of their sovereign nation. And their primary focus when they develop the technology and roll out a CBDC will be within a domestic context. and how does this benefit their national economy? So there's a long road to go down. I think the interesting part with CBDCs is when it comes to cross-border, because if you think about trying to say, okay, how will you do cross-border in a world which does become more and more, in which CBDCs are more and more embedded, is that going to be some supranational body, the central banks collaborating as a body, and the BIS has looked at some options around this? I think, from my point of view, there's two factors that would make me think, for a company like us, this is a change, but a change that we should embrace, and we will thrive in this new environment. Because today we provide real-time 24/7 cross-border payments without any crypto, DLT, CBDCs, because we've built our end-to-end. So a lot of the benefits of CBDCs from a cross-border point of view we can provide today. And secondly, when it comes to how do you create the connectivity and find innovative solutions between different CBDCs, you look at the world of fiat currencies today, that isn't done through the central banks, that's done through the private sector. That's where you find the solutions to solve those complex problems. And my bet would be that actually the private sector companies like us will actually play a very significant role in solving the problems of how to connect CBDCs with cross-border trade. Thank you.